So today we're going to work on our ruffles. So we're going to work on the two ruffles which go onto our apron and the large round ruffle which goes all the way around the bottom of the dress, and the two other layers of ruffles at the back of the dress. We're going to work with this fabric and we're going to learn how to make some French seams and put that in and join these pieces of fabric together. And we're going to do the same with the large ruffle on the bottom, and the two ruffles on the back will be joined once. So I'll give you all the cutting instructions and everything for that. So today we're going to work on this. Hope you'll come and join me. You need, for your ruffles for the dress, you are going to need, let me just show you what the ruffles look like on the dress. So this is just my mock-up, okay, and the ruffles on the back look like this, okay. So you have one which goes all the way around the bottom like that, all right, and then on the back, because obviously you don't see the front because you've got your apron, you have got one which sits directly on top of that one, and then another one which sits directly on top of that again. All right, so you've got your 3 ruffles for the back. So this is what we are going to do. So the first one we want to pin 4 pieces together. Okay, so if you're using the plain fabric, it doesn't matter which way you pin them, but we are going to put French seams in them. So you've got that one pinned. Take your next piece and make sure you get it the right way, okay? So you want to make sure it goes the same way. So that one is going now so that it's laid like that, and this one's going to do the same, okay? So pop that one on. Alright, so these were 45 inches, these strips, and I needed 4 of them to do the bottom of the skirt. The skirt, the ruffles do go down slightly in size as you get smaller, so you can save a little tiny bit of fabric, but not very much. I think it's very small, so that's why I've just thought it was easier just to cut the whole length of the fabric rather than trying to muck around with getting it larger or smaller or whatever. Okay, so you've got that, and that's your 4 pieces done together. But then you need to come around to this very last piece and make sure you've got, so go around like this, so you make sure that you've not got a twist in it at all. Alright, and we are going to pin that piece there. I'm going to take this piece, which we don't have a twist with, in. Just check again, because I don't want to twist it up before I stitch it. Right, yeah, you're fine like that. Okay, just going to lay it down, so I'm definitely not got a twist going in there, because there's nothing more annoying than having to go back and you've done it all and you think, oh no, that's not right. So you could do all of those sewing bits first and then come and do this piece at the end if you wanted to. There's definitely not a twist in it, so I'm just going to pop that on the end. I did make a tiny mistake with cutting it, and then I went down like that on that very last piece, so I'm going to have to just wiggle around to sort that out, and I'm going to have to do something with the edge on that just to sort that out, because obviously I made a mistake. My hands don't work that good, so as you can see it's fine up here, but up just down that very last bit I'm going to have to fold that one less when I do the turn on that one. So that's all pinned together, and that's for the bottom of your skirt. Okay, and then we've got these pieces, so these need to be just pinned together as a 2. Alright, so you can just pin that together like that, and you just don't need to join them or anything, it's just this part which joins here. Okay, there we go. So that's a 2, and then this one as well. And that'll give you those beautiful ruffles on the bottom. That was lucky because I only just had that amount of pins. That one, I'm going to put that one in there. Okay, right, so I'm going to take this to the machine now and I'm going to put French seams in all of those pieces. So I've just changed to my yellow thread and I'm just going to come along and I'm going to go along on that 1/4 of an inch. And go backwards. And then we'll go all the way to the end. And then do the next one. Just got them all laid, all ready to go. Okay. Next one. Okay, back stitch. And then all the way down to the end. There we go. Next one. And this is the one which I've made that mistake on and I'm going to have to muck around with because I don't have enough fabric to cut another piece. So I will have to muck around with that one. We should have 6 of these to do. I annoyed myself with mucking that up. Straight one. That's the last one. There we go. There we go. Right, so now I'm going to take them all off. I'm just going to come across. So we're just going to come across now and we're just going to trim them all back. Exactly the same as we did with the other ones. To about 1/4 of an inch. There we go, one. That's one. Two. No, I think that's part of the long one. 3. Four. It's a good idea to count them because otherwise you can forget what you're doing. the long piece. And this one is the 6th one. Okay. There we go. Okay, so that's all 6 of them. Take them to the iron now and give them a quick press open. So I've just come in now and I'm going to, I pressed them all, I'm just going to come in now and do the French seam. Sorry, that's just my machine. Back stitch. And then straight away to the end. So I've caught on something there. Let's try it. That's that one. One. Next one. Big piece for the bottom. Okay. Should have done a back stitch there, back stitch. Don't know why I did that quick like that. That was a bit ridiculous. 3. One more now. There it is. And 6. So here we are in our long piece. I'm just going to come along. I want all the pieces to go that way, so just keep a continuity to it. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is just to come along. I'll start there on that tiny bit. I'm just going to fold this in just 1/4 of an inch all the way along like that. I'm just going to go all the way around and we're going to go the whole thing. So it's just going to go on and on and on forever. You're going to think to yourself, okay? So just keep going, and then it's just going to take a bit of a time. It takes a good 20 to 30 minutes to get all this preparation done for the ruffles and just in the ironing side of it, and then it's going to take another good while to get the rest of the other bits done as well. I'm just pulling it through so I've got plenty there so that you can see what I'm doing. So I'm just going in on 1/4 of an inch to start off with. And it gets a bit boring, I'm sorry. So I'll carry on doing it. If you want to carry on ironing it along with me, you can do. Have your computer or your phone beside you and watch that as we're doing it. Okay. A bit boring, I'm afraid. I'm sure you all know how to iron. I don't know whether just to turn it on. I'll just keep going. No, I'll turn it off. It's a bit silly, isn't it? It's just because we're just ironing a straight line. So I'll turn it off for a second and then I'll come back for the next bit. So I've gone around and I folded that one in and ironed it on 1/4 of an inch. And I folded this side in and I ironed it on 1/4 of an inch. And I went all the way round the whole thing. And I also did my other 2 pieces of the yellow. Okay. And then what we are going to do is just to come in on this side, and we're going to fold it down a 1/2 inch. It's just going to be just on this side, not on the other side, okay? So come in, fold it down a 1/2 inch and iron across on that 1/2 inch mark all the way around. Okay, like that. So you go all the way around the whole thing, and then whip it around. And on this side, we're going to just come in another 1/4 inch. Now this side, if you don't want to do the hem like this, you can use a road hem foot. So if you've got a road hem foot, you might find that easier to do it if you know how to use it. I always struggle with my road hem foot, so I prefer to do it this way. I know it takes much longer doing it this way, but that's it. So you've got that side in at a 1/4 inch and this side in at 1/2 inch. So I'm going to go around and do all of that. Then I'm going to go and do exactly the same with my long pieces of the patterned fabric. Okay, so I would do exactly the same. I will fold them in a 1/4 inch, and then that one will probably be a 1/2 inch, and I will fold this one in a 1/4 inch, and then another 1/4 inch like that. I will fold it in a 1/4 inch like that, and fold iron it, and then fold that one in at 1/2 inch. Okay, and then fold this one in at 1/4 inch, and then fold it in again at a 1/4 inch. But with this piece, what you want to do is make sure that you've got, this is the 1/2 inch side on that, the 1/4 inch side there. So that's folded 2 times at a 1/4 inch. This one is folded at 1/4 and then a 1/2. Okay, so when you come to do the other side, this side here, this side, each time it's going to be the inside piece. This one has to be in at a 1/4 and then at a 1/2, like that. These 2 pieces will be where we are going to gather, and that will be the pieces which will go and be stitched onto the 2 straps of your apron. Okay, so that one will be your 1/4 inch, and the inside one will be your 1/4 and then the 1/2. Okay, like that. So you've got to do it on that side and that side. All right, so to just go and do that, I'm just going to fold this piece in. I'm going to fold it in a 1/4 inch on that side, and then I'm going to fold it in another 1/4 inch. I'm going to fold it in a 1/4 inch on that side, but then I'm going to fold it in a 1/2 inch on that side. But on the other side, you want to do it so that it's the other way around, 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch. So here we are at the sewing machine. I've got my yellow thread in. I've got my 1/4 inch strip on. It doesn't really matter, but that will help just me to keep this on the stripe piece on this side. So on this side, and I've got my big long piece, we are just going to come in and we are going to stitch this at a 1/4 inch all the way round, and this will be the bottom edge of your ruffle. Okay, so I'm just going to come in, and I want to get it so that my foot is, my needle is coming as close to this point here. I'm just going to go literally all the way around. So it's going to probably take ages, but sorry about that. I wouldn't pull from the back. I'm just trying to do it so I don't, usually I'd have my hands here, but I'm just trying to do it so that I'm keeping out of your way so that you can see. Do a back stitch. Okay, and I'll just move my arm there. So usually, as I say, I'll put it there. Okay, and I'm just going to come in from here. Give it on that very edge. It's just going to go on and on and on, but you can follow along with me if you like. just going through those layers with French seam, that is. There we go, keep going. In there. Turn the next bit. Still going. When you get to the end of this bit, this particular bit, you might want to just stretch. Keep going. It must be nearly there now. That thread is a lovely match and it doesn't seem to be breaking at the moment, so let's hope that'll work for us. Probably needed a clap after doing that. That was a long bit. Do a back stitch. Okay, right, and now we're going to go and we're going to carry on doing all the rest of the pieces because I don't want to move on to my gathering stitch for a minute. So I'm just going to put that to one side and come and do all the rest of the pieces, which are on my lap here. Okay, so we're doing the 1/4 inch side on the two other long ones. You might want to stretch your arms in that now before you start on this. Okay, just do a bit of stretching and then we'll go. Right, here we go. I'm going to go on, back stitch, and then all the way along. we are going to do exactly the same as this with the dolly's ruffles. So if you are just doing it for the dolls, you'll have a lot smaller piece of fabric, but it will be done in exactly the same. But obviously the pieces will be much shorter. Just do a back stitch, and there should be one more piece like that. Here it is on the floor. Again, we're going to work on that 1/4 inch side. There we go. Right back stitch. And right to the end. My finger and thumb here on this one, and my finger and thumb on this one. I'm gently pulling that through as it goes, but not really pulling, just sort of guiding it more, keeping it in place. See now why we needed to have a couple of spools made up. I can't decide whether to do the other piece in the yellow or in, just do a back stitch on the end there, whether to stitch this next piece in the yellow or to do it in the white. Because obviously it's all different colours. Those two pieces to one side, right? And then we're coming with this piece now. I'm going to have a look and see what the yellow looks like on it. I'm just going to do a little bit and see if it looks okay. If it doesn't, then I will go back and unpick it and use the white. Put that one on the 1/4 inch side as well. I'm just going to run up it nice and slow. Back stitch. That's probably a bit too much back stitch. Let's keep going for a minute. And let me just have a look. Oh, I quite like that with the yellow on it. Yeah, I think I might do that with the yellow. Quite like it, so I'm just going to carry on doing that. tug to go through that way because it doesn't want to really go over that big lump. So that's over. Okay, I'm going to carry on and come down here. And then we'll do the last piece on the 1/4 inch side. Now make sure your 1/4 inch side on this side should be on the other side, which it is. So just check that beforehand. Mine is on the other side obviously, so that's okay. You just don't want to get it all stitched and then find out you've got it the wrong way around. Okay, so yeah, that's your 1/2 inch side and that's 1/4 inch side. Into that lump now. And honestly, if you make a mistake, don't worry, because I just made a mistake there. I came in too far. Nobody's going to see it. If you're making it to sell, then yeah, you might have to unpick it and do it again. But if you're just making it for yourself, mistakes, they happen, and you know, you just got to get on with it. But nobody's ever come up to me and said, oh, you've made a mistake, that's gone a bit crooked there, or anything like that. Alright, so now we're coming to the other pieces now. Now we're going to go on and do some gathering stitches. So make sure you've got plenty of spool in here. Okay, you can keep this 1/4 inch fit on if you want to. You can just use your ordinary fit, it doesn't really matter which size fit you put on there. And we're going to come in and we are going to stitch down here right on the edge, but we're going to change our stitches here, and we're going to change them to the biggest stitch I've got, which is a 7 on mine. Okay, and then we're just going to come in and we're going to just run the whole length of that with that as close to the edge as I can get it on a 7. Okay. With this, it goes quite quickly because you're making quite big stitches. So what you want to do is just take your time. Don't press too hard if you're worried about the length of your stitch, okay? Because you want to keep it straight as you can. I said go in and doing a bit over the side there. It's quite hard to do when you've not got your other hand there. Otherwise it goes right in the way of the camera. So I'm going to do that on all of them, and then we're going to come back and we're going to do this. And we're going to take that out and leave a nice long thread. Okay, cut that off, and we're going to, this will come back again, and we will do exactly the same as we've just done, but we're going to put it higher up. Okay, so we're going to put it so that that foot there is sitting right on that edge there. Okay, and we're just going to run all the way along. Don't do a back stitch. You might find it hard to look at that side. It's just, you're just looking here. That's what I have. And if you've got your hands on it, you might be able to do it much quicker than I am, because obviously I'm trying to do it so that you can see. Oops, I'm going a bit higher there. Take that off and leave a nice long thread. Okay, and that will be your gathering threads. Okay, all right, and then we're going to do the next. And we're going to do all the others exactly that same way as we've just done it. So you can follow on with the video if you like, or you can just stop it and do your own thing. Okay, so I'm going to put that on as close to the edge as I can get it. There we go, and off we go. Remember not to put a back stitch in there, just take out your long thread, snap it off, and then go all the way down again, but this time we need to do it so it's coming out, and we've got that one sitting on the edge. Okay. Don't do the back stitch, pull it out, give yourself a nice long thread. Okay, that's that one. Right, now these ones. Okay, there we go. One. There we are. Right on the edge. leave your long end. I'm going to do exactly the same again. You get fed up with this, aren't you? Dear me. Right, here we go. Pop it on. There we go. Stitch, pull that one out. Okay, and I think that's it. Is that one or is it two? That's one. That's one yellow one done. I thought that was two, I was getting excited. Okay, next one. If my battery should run out, I'm going to just do the others exactly the same, and the round one, just do it exactly the same as I've just done with this. Okay, all the way to the end, just nice and close to the edge. Missed a bit there, I'm going to have to go back and redo that. Get that one, pull it out, leave a long end. Okay, and then go back to the beginning. And we're going to just put it up a bit further. So it's sitting right on the very edge of here. When I've missed a bit here, so that's going to sort it out. So that's that done, and then we're going to do the great big long one exactly the same. So what I thought was it would be a really good idea was when you were doing all your ironing thing, if you... Oh, I'm going to rethread that bottom spool. That's not going to be enough, I don't think. Let's put another spool in there. I just popped another spool in. I'm just running around now. I'm just about to start to run around, keeping it on this edge of this great big long piece now. So we're just going to come in exactly the same. Don't put a back stitch in it, just run all the way around. cut up my hem on this. I'm going to have to go back and probably unpick the whole hem. I don't know how, but several places I've not caught the hem. I don't know what's going on there. It might be because I'm using this other foot, and I usually have my clear foot and I can see through it. So we'll have to get that sorted out. My hem. Oh my, that made me jump. What was that? No, nothing there. I don't know what happened there. That made me jump. Going to stop there just before, so that you've got a little bit of a gap between the two of them. All right, pull that one out. Okay, and then come back, and we're going to do the second row. Just make sure your threads are down the bottom. You don't want them sticking up where you are going to be sewing the next bit of thread. Okay, so then this one is going to go under there. This one is going to go on the top. Okay, I'm going to just put it so that that is sitting right on the edge there. And away we go again. Before we, so there we go. All right, so take that off, and that is that done. Okay, Next thing we are going to do is start to gather it, and I will show you that in a bit. Before you leave your sewing machine, always put those stitches back to where your normal stitch, because it's really annoying when you get on there and you try and stitch something and you find that you've got you've done the whole thing and you've done it in a gathering stitch and it won't hold properly when you've done it. So just have a go at that, okay? So I'm going to put that off and we'll just go and look how to gather it. So that's all of it done. So now we need to go and find something good to watch on TV or listen to on the radio or put some music on, because this is going to take forever as well. And we're just going to take the 2 back threads from here and we're just going to pull them very gently. We're going to gather the whole thing along. Okay, so we're going to pull them in and just gather the whole thing, and we're just going to keep moving it down like that until all the gathers are done all the way along. Don't pull it too tight, take your time doing it, because you don't want to break those threads, because then you've got to go back and do it all over again, alright? So we're just gathering the whole thing. When you get to the end here, halfway if you want to, you can stop and go and do it the other way, come from the other end like that and grab the other 2 pieces and just gather from that end if you'd rather do that, so that you meet in the middle. And then when you get to the end, just stop then, and then we'll come and we'll do the next part of the video there. So you should be able to just get a lovely ruffle coming and pull it down like that through, like that, until you've got the whole thing gathered. And you should have, it should be nice and tight, very tight like this. That's what you're aiming for at the end, okay? So gather the whole thing in, and it's a nice tight gather all the way along, okay? So just go and sit now quietly, watch TV or something, and just do this. It just goes on and on and on. So you've got quite a few bits to do, and that's it. That will be the end of this video. You'll have this all gathered up, and I will just put a little clip right at the very end of what it looks like when it's all gathered, okay? So that is the end of this video. I hope you've enjoyed working along with me, and I hope that you come along and make the rest of the dress with me. Goodbye.